89.3 FM Toledo and Lima, 88.5 FM Wasia, on the web at yeshome.com, on the SFM Android and iTunes app, and the TuneIn Radio app, and now at 89.1 FM Fremont.
Another group that is nominated for a ton of Dove nominations, and they're going to be at Point Fest this year, is the group For King of Country. On the phone line, we have Luke from For King of Country. Hello, Luke.
How are you doing today?
We are well here. You're North Dakota bound or South Dakota bound?
North Dakota bound we are, yes. So I'm up front with the bus driver, and we're seeing those white dotted lines all across the country right now.
Very good. Well, hopefully it doesn't make you too dizzy.
No, I'm good.
It's kind of like, what was the movie? I think it was like Dr. Dolittle with the dog, and he's like, line, tree, tree.
Yep. No, that's how I feel right now. But it's very pretty outside right now. You can see corn to my right, and more cars and more farming to the left.
Exactly. Now, are you one that gets motion sickness or dizzy?
No. I'm usually pretty good now. If I ride rides and things that spin like that, that can mess with me a little bit. But as far as being in the bus or in the car, motion sickness, I'm very fortunate to not really have much of.
Well, which brings up a good point, you guys being at Point Fest. Now, have you played Point Fest before? Have you been to Cedar Point before?
Yes, we have. But, I am one of those guys that certainly doesn't enjoy the roller coasters very much. So I'm going to the king of, apparently the greatest roller coasters in America, and it's not necessarily something that I'm looking forward to, even though I love the event, and I'm so thrilled for everybody else who loves going on the roller coasters.
So we're not going to see you on Top Thrill Dragster with your arms flying in the air, and you've got a 200, 300-foot drop, you going crazy.
No, it's funny. I've ridden the roller coasters, or many roller coasters, and I just personally don't enjoy it that much. You get so worked up for it. You go ride it, and I get on it, and I'm like, why am I doing this? So I've just kind of made a point to. There's certain ones that I'll go on, but the really aggressive ones, like that are at Point Fest, I'm like, I guess they designed this for other people. They did not design these for me.
Now, do you guys you're from Australia and stuff like that? Do they have theme parks like we do here in the U.S., or are they a little bit more low key? What do you guys do? As far as the rides and all that kind of stuff over there?
You think that Australia is a third world country, don't you?
No. I know there's big places too, but I'm not familiar with the theme parks over there.
I'm just messing. There is some people that think that we don't speak English in Australia.
Well, I know you're not out with the tribal, Aborigine out in the outback, where there's all this just grassland and nothing. I know there's Sydney, and you guys have got the big, theater and all this stuff out there too.
Listeners, I think I hit a little bit of a sensitive spot for April. She's trying to explain all of her knowledge about Australia. No, I'm just teasing. You know what we do? We have all of theme parks, all sorts of different things. Now, are those things that I went to much growing up? Not necessarily. We have some great water parks because Australia is so hot. So in that regard, we have some pretty killer water parks that maybe we might have a little bit better water parks than what you guys do here, just because that seems to be a little bit more of a focus for Australians, just because I think 80% of the population is on the coast, and so therefore water, the beaches, all those types of things, that's kind of what steals the show in Australia.
We would definitely agree. Certainly a lot better than Lake Erie here.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Well, Point Fest, you guys are playing with Skillet. You're playing with Casting Crowns and Loving the Outcome. Have you gotten a chance to tour with any of these guys before? This is the first time. Kind of tell us that, as far as your relationships with these guys.
You know what? We have actually gotten to tour with Skillet probably nearly more than any other band that is out there, because we've done two big tours on Winter Jam with them. And so our first tour that Joel and I did was on Winter Jam, and then we just played this past winter was with Skillet as well. So we've actually got to play with them a lot, and we've done a tour with Casting Crowns, and then Loving the Outcome are label mates of ours. So we've been able to kind of get to know all of those folks very well. And that's what is so wonderful about festivals. You get to see a lot of old friends. You get to see a lot of folks that that you don't always see. You get to catch up and hang out and say hello and see what's going on in their lives.
Family reunion time. There you go.
Exactly.
Hey, speaking of family, we just found this out the other day, but your brother, Mr. Joel, did not realize this, is married to one Miss Mariah Peters, who has been getting some notoriety. That's pretty cool.
Yes, that is correct.
And then, of course, younger brothers to Rebecca St. James. So it sounds like it's a family affair with all the music going on.
Yeah, it's funny. My dad was actually a concert promoter in Australia. And so we grew up around music constantly. And then when we came to America, soon after that, my sister started as an artist. So we literally have grown up on the road, grown up touring pretty much our whole life. And I think that's something that has helped us a lot. It's kind of like we did our apprenticeship before we ever got signed or started working on our own music. So it's not this whole world is not very foreign to us, and one that we love and enjoy, and we've gotten to see the beautiful power in the music and why it's important. And so for us, we're very thankful for that experience and for, as I said, that apprenticeship.
Absolutely, and it shows because, you guys are getting notoriety. Not that you're in it to, like, oh, look at me, but, certainly Dove nominations, Contemporary Christian Artist of the Year nomination, Artist of the Year nomination. You've got stuff for, some of your songs as well, and you guys are doing very, very well. How do you keep that in balance and in focus? Because I know that can kind of like, a lot of hype can sometimes mess with you a little bit.
Yeah, I you know what? I'm very, very fortunate to be married to a wonderful woman and have 2 little kids at home. And so my greatest legacy isn't necessarily what I do with music. My greatest legacy is how I love my wife and how I raise my kids. And so as long as if I can keep that into perspective, awards and nominations, they're very kind, and we appreciate the encouragement of them, but they're not necessarily what gives us satisfaction or, oh, wow, we've arrived or we're doing this. The most powerful thing that we get to do is to actually be in front of the fans, for them to actually come up and say, hey, thank you so much for writing this song, because this song has altered my life. Those are things that we take more comfort and encouragement from than awards. Though to the people that vote for us for those things, hey, we're grateful for. But that's something that's not a motivation for us. We never set out in music to say, hey, I'm going to do my best to win as many awards as I can in music. That's not what it's all about. But that's kind of our heartbeat behind what we do, is to be in front of people, to impact people, and hopefully the music is of quality that it can do so.
Once again, we're talking to Luke Smallbone of the group For King and Country, along with his brother Joel, heading that group up. And they're going to be at Point Fest coming up in September, on September the 19th. And another thing that we've been noticing is you guys in pop culture, which is a lot of fun because you guys are very savvy on, the internet and social media and stuff. We've seen a few things pop up. Number one, a plane ride with the group Family Force 5. Did you know that you're going to be on the same flight with these guys?
So we did an event the other day, and I think we were up in New Hampshire, and we were going to a festival in Texas the next day, and we had 3 flights the next day, and we were just all exhausted. And so when we toured with Family Force 5 as well, so when I was seeing those guys, I was like, hey, so where are you guys at tomorrow? And they're like, oh, we're doing a festival in Texas. And I was like, oh, no way, where are you guys playing? And so just so happened to be playing the exact same festival, had 3 flights together. We're all exhausted. I think we got up at like 3 a.m. that morning to make the flight. And so when you're in that together, you make memories together. That's why we take the photos and do those types of things, because it's like, hey, this is the unglamorous side of what we do in music, which is sometimes get very, very little sleep. And, sometimes we're doing flights all over the country.
Well, yeah, and I imagine that's kind of a shot in the arm for each other, just to be able to know, hey, we're comrades in arms, we're in this together, kind of the encouragement there.
Oh, of course. And those guys are great fellas. That that we're. That's one thing I like about music is we're all kind of doing different things inside music. They're the way that their style is different to what we do, but yet together, hopefully, we can be a force to be reckoned with, and we can really have an impact on culture.
Exactly. Well, I mean, and we've seen that you've had an impact on culture, and even other musicians. We even saw that Bono from U2 is somewhat of a fan of your music.
Yeah, my brother Joel actually wasn't able to go to it, but we did a show, or Joel actually got to go to U2's show that they were doing up in Madison Square Garden, and didn't know if he was going to be able to meet Bono, but got a chance to be able to shake his hand and hang out with him. And so, it's funny, you're in this world long enough, you do cross paths with a lot of different people, and he's one, obviously, that we've respected for a long time, just with his musical creativity, just all the different things that he has. And then even what he's done with the One campaign, that was actually what we were up there for, just meeting up with those guys, seeing if there's ways that we can partner, and then to be able to cross paths with him was obviously a highlight for Joel. I wish I could have been there. I was at home with the family, but hopefully that will happen sometime soon.
Once again, we're talking to Luke Smallbone, who makes up half of the duo of For King and Country. Well, not just a duo. You guys have got great musicians behind you as well. But going to be at Point Fest on September the 19th. And we just are super excited to see what God has been doing with your guys' ministry. And our listeners have been a lot of fun, interacting with your music. One of the songs that we've been playing, we actually have got the Liu and Dancy remix, is a song called Shoulders. Can you kind of go over that song a little bit, what it means to you guys and why you wrote it, before we let you go?
Yeah, no, Shoulders is honestly one of the most special songs that I've ever been a part of writing, because I've actually struggled with an illness over the last 3 years. And during that time, during my illness, I got very, very sick and actually had to come off the road for a while, and wasn't sure if I'd ever be healthy enough again to tour or be out on the road. And when you're that sick, you kind of have to ask yourself some serious questions, and one of those questions was, where did my help come from? And that's kind of how that song popped out. And as we were writing the song, we were trying to figure out, that song really came from me battling with sickness, and we thought, hey, do we put that word sickness in there? And there was much debate, because not many people want to be reminded of the fact that at some point we're going to get sick. And we said, this is the truth, this is who we are, this is the authentic side of what was going on in my life and the reason why I wrote the song. And so we decided to put it on there, and that's why, part of the reason why that song has become so special is I think people feel that it's real, feel that it's authentic, and know that those words came out of a real place of hurt and anguish, and those words ended up becoming words that have comforted me over the course of the last year or so.
Thanks, Luke, so much for sharing about that. We appreciate you guys and just wish you well, and are super excited to be able to hang out with you at Point Fest, once again happening on September the 19th. Luke Smallbone of the group For King and Country. And thanks for joining us. We wish you well as you're in South Dakota, and hopefully you'll be able to get to see some awesome landmarks and have a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time, April.
Yes, FM.